welcome to an all-new episode of R&D Garage. I want to welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. And of course, everybody who's been there since the beginning, who joined along the way. Thank you guys so much for continuing on this car journey with me. Okay, now I apologize we didn't put out a couple of videos last week. Unfortunately, we lost our beloved dog Turbo, and it's been very, very rough. He was just one of a kind dog, best boy ever, and you know, it sucks. It sucks to lose an animal. It's heartbreaking, but this is kind of funny. We have a new little dog already. He had been in the works since before Turbo had passed. We had hoped Turbo would still be around to maybe teach him the ropes a little bit, but alas, it wasn't to be. But I want to make his formal introduction here. Come on down. Hey guys, this is Polly Walnuts. He's such a good boy. He's about 16-week-old blue Frenchie. His name is Polly Walnuts, after our favorite character from The Sopranos. And he's going to be the new shop dog. And we're going to be taking him to all the car shows. So when you guys see us walking around with little Polly, now you have an extra little person, well, little dog. Well, they're people in our opinion. Another little one to say hi to. So, okay, let's get going. Okay guys, so today we are doing the rear brakes on the S2K. Remember a couple weeks ago we finished up the fronts, so now we're going to do the rears as well as bleeding them. So I am so excited to get this girl on the road already. Let's do it. Okay guys, so first things first, I already took the 2 screws out of the rotor here, and now I'm coming along to this plate, or the shield, sorry, and I'm going to take off the 2 10mm bolts. One right here, and one right here. Yeah, always make sure it's an off. And it's so funny because this is definitely not a California car. They use more on here. There we go, there's one. Let's get this one. Yep, there we go. Okay, that should be perfect. And this can actually come out, I believe, together. Oh, no. Okay. Is there another? Okay. So the trick with that is basically to pull forward and then up. Awesome. I'm going to go wash my hands and we're going to move on. Okay, so now we're going to get this parking brake clip taken off. So it's kind of basically what you're going to do is get your pry bar in there and just kind of twist it a little bit until it pops out. So you'll see what I mean. There we go. It's already moving a bit. Whoops. And it should just... There we go. So it may take a little bit, but that's what it looks like. Okay, he's snoring. Okay, so now we have to hit take off 2 more 10mm bolts, and that's what's holding the brake line to the caliper. So there's one right here, and then one kind of just below it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of these. There we go. And so that's what these look like. And I've been finding a lot of these have so much Loctite on. I don't know if it's because it was an East Coast car and they just didn't want, maybe they wanted stuff to rust together. I don't know. Sorry, taking pot shots at the East Coast. I love you guys. Okay, let me get the other one here. It's hard to see. There we go. that should do that. Yep. Perfect. Okay, so now you can see the brake line is loose, and we're gonna go ahead and break it. Well, not like break it, but you guys know. Okay guys, let's take off these caliper bolts. So they're 14 millimeter. There's one right here, and the other one is, where did he go? Right here. Okay, let's tackle this top one. Should be good to go now. Yep. There we go. Yep. There we go. Okay, this guy is out too. Camera. Yay. Okay guys, let's tackle the bottom one now. There we go. Okay. Yep, fun. Whew. Okay, they're out. Sweet. Okay guys, so here's where the parking brake attaches itself to the caliper. So we need to get this off. So what you're gonna do is come over here and press against this guy, and it should just pop off. Should. There we go. Takes a little bit of force. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is pull out this parking brake line, and then I'm going to go ahead, bang on the caliper, get it off, and then just kind of flip the whole thing up here. So let's get started. And you may have to shake and shimmy the parking brake line out just a little bit. So there we go. And you can actually help it out with your other hand to feed it through. Okay, so that is off. We're gonna let it dangle. And now, yeah, that is nowhere near ready to come off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit it. There, that was actually, thank you. I'm gonna flip this up here, and now we're ready to move on. Okay, so on a normal California car, all you would have to do to get the rotor off is to kind of bang it lightly from behind, and then the whole thing would just basically be good enough to slide off. Now, being an East Coast car of sorts, I already tried this on the other side, didn't quite work. So what I'm going to show you is another way to pull this off. So here's 2 bolts I threaded through. These are just from another project, doesn't matter, they aren't needed for this one. But what I'm going to do is tighten them up just a little bit until I feel a pop, and then you can go ahead and leave them in there, and you'll be able to still slide the rotor off. So let's go ahead and do this. And you can see how rusty it is. So you may get a little rust, dirt, dust fly off with it. So it's probably a good idea to use your glasses. Oh, see you guys, it already popped off like that. I wonder if actually, oh yeah, nope, not quite yet. Okay, it is definitely loose though. Come on, guys. I think just because it's so freaking rusty, that's what's going on here. So we're going to just keep doing this until it is definitely ready. And give it a good shimmy. There we go. Now it's off. Oh, and I just tweaked my ankle. Okay, shut off the camera. I'm about to cry. So, you guys obviously know I have a ton of tools, but here's also a bag of magic tricks. Whenever you go to the pick and pull, you know, just someplace where you're taking off a lot of bolts, keep them. I know it may be a little bit kind of like, no, you know, one more thing to store. But as you can see with the rotor, a couple of these random bolts sure came in handy. So again, get your own little set of magic tricks and keep your bolts. Okay guys, remember me doing this by hand on the fronts? Well, now we got this cool little wire brush that is attached to my Milwaukee power tool. And this thing is really cool, but there are a couple of rules with it. So number one, safety glasses, because you are going to get a lot of crap off with this. And number two, it likes to travel. So even though it's set to like the slowest speed, you're still going to have to keep a handle on it. But it's going to be, oh my gosh, it's going to be so nice. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys. I'm going to do around here. Obviously, this is super important to clean off all the rust and gunk because the new rotor will seriously catch on all this and you'll hear it squealing and it won't be good. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And you don't really want to hit the bolts with these. That would be bad. Woo, see how I like to travel? That's what I'm talking about. Woo. It's so satisfying when you get it under the lip like that. Okay, well, I wanted to give you guys a hint of what to do with this. Now we're going to do the rest off camera. And don't hit the backing with this. Not good. Okay, well, as you can see, that cleaned up really, really nice. We hit that also with brake clean. We also hit the backing plate with brake clean, and now we're ready to put on the new rotor. So you'll notice that it has a bolt right here with a little tiny screw hole next to it. Big hole, tiny hole. It ain't rocket science. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fit this on, just like that. And now what I'm going to do is basically check it to see if it catches on anything. So, because there was so much rust on it, and I don't want to, you know, get everything together and then all of a sudden it doesn't quite turn right. But this, I feel like we actually did a good job. So yeah, it's not catching on anything. So what I'm going to do now is use this old nasty screw because we're still waiting on the new ones. And I'm just going to go ahead and install it right here. Hearing Polly snort in the background is just, it's going to be the new soundtrack for my life. There we go. Okay, let's move on. Smart, smart. Okay, now we're ready to put the caliper back on. So what we're going to do, or what we already did, was also hit the two bolts with the wire brush just to kind of clean them up a little bit. And so it's always a good idea before you connect everything to do a test fit. And so that is what I'm going to do. And that seems to go in just fine. That looks good. Now we're going to do this side, preferably not at an angle. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, this is good. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out. And, come on, guy. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to put this on. So, you know, it goes on basically with all the junk pointing into the car. I call it junk. I also greased all the contact points with the pads. So the pads are in. We look good to go. I'm just going to go ahead and hang it up so we can move on from there. So I'm going to play with my dog. Okay, we're looking good. Let's move on. Okay guys, so I put the caliper bolts on the back. Remember where you can literally rewind to the beginning of this video where I took them off. Basically, just do the same thing to put them back on and then torque them down to 41 foot-pounds. It's a little awkward for me to video this, so I gave you guys the torque. You know what to do. Okay guys, time to reattach the parking brake cable. So what we're going to do is basically in reverse of what we did to get it out. So I'm going to go ahead, feed it through, just like this, and until it bottoms out. This is perfect. We don't need to put it on the little kind of like hook yet, but we are going to put on the bracket. So flat side against the metal piece, like just like this, and we're going to slide it in, and then we are going to go ahead and hammer it. Beautiful. Actually, one more. Awesome. I always like to hit it for good measure. Okay, now we're going to brake, and I'll be underneath the car. Okay, guys, so I have my glasses back on, which, hi. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and hook the parking brake cable onto the little, just like this. And it should just pop on, you'd think. There we go. If I can push, yes, perfect. I love it when it makes a thunk. So this, I want to call it, it's not a clip, I guess just like a metal bracket. So this is completely on now. Yay. Okay guys, you remember that old banjo nut from the fronts? Well, they also have one in the rear to get the brake line in, or connect to the caliper. So what we did, because it's a little bit awkward to film, but here's the new one. Obviously, we have brand new crush washers, super important. And you want to clean everything out before you put it in, just so no gunk gets in there. But afterwards, that's basically how it goes on. So you got the banjo nut, you got the washer from behind, and then you got the brake line, another crush washer, and the bolt head itself. Okay guys, remember the longer of the two bolts? That's also necessary for putting the brake line back into place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. These are the two 10mm bolts. And then we're going to put on the shield next with the smaller of the two bolts. Okay, and we're probably going to break right in the middle of this because you guys know how bolts go on. But anyway, you see it lines up right there. And so actually I'm going to take off my gloves, a little bit easier to feel, and get it started. So I'm going to do finger tight right now, and then go ahead and ratchet it down. Okay, so that goes in super nice. And now I have to feel for the second one. Okay guys, shield time. So this is sharp, so be careful. And basically it has to go in and then back and then kind of wrap around. So let's just go ahead and do this. And then it has the two shorter bolts. So I think, oh, well, that went in a lot easier than I thought. Let's go ahead and get these in here. Okay, so first I'm going to do finger tight. Oops. Okay, and you may need to shimmy this guy. There we go. Because that would be just too easy if the bolts just went in. Okay, and then this guy from the back. Sorry, I know my head is in the way. Okay, it's just going to be in the way for a second. Why are you not? So you may have to kind of shimmy it. There we go. And almost pull it back. There, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna finger tighten that guy too. And then I'll hit it with the torque wrench. Do we have the torque wrench ready? Where it is? There it is. And is it on? Wow, I got that on there good. I swear my finger tighten is like, oh, perfect. Okay, shield's on. Yay. Whew. Okay guys, well, we're just about done with this brake job. I'm so excited to be that much closer to driving Blackberry. We haven't done the bleeding of the brakes yet. We're going to do that later this week, so we'll definitely film it for you. But I think we gave you, oh, he farted. But I think we gave you guys a really good view of how to do front and rear brakes on an S2K. So I'm going to take this little potato home and feed him. And yeah, we'll be back with a video very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Hit that button, especially if you want to see more of this guy, and liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. Take care, you guys.